Hello, welcome to this video. This is one that I've been really meaning to put together for quite some time now. I'm going to show how I got this look today with the Natasha Denona Glam palette. This is my favorite palette of this sort of like larger size. I don't think I would really ever want for a palette that offers much more than this. It came out a while ago. So it's got 15 shades that I think lean very, very neutral, maybe debatably a little cool, but I think it's just that it's cool in contrast to most other things out on the market, more so than it's actually cool. I don't know. Feel free to tell me what you think. Retails, I think, for $68 now, which is a little bit more than when I first got it. But in any case, this is probably, if I could just choose like one neutral palette to own, it would probably be this one. I tried to do a little tutorial in a short form video because I don't really know how to approach tutorials and I don't really know how to approach shorts, and I figured maybe I could kill two birds with one stone. But ultimately I felt like it was just a little bit too tight of a time frame to squeeze it in, so I wanted to do a separate dedicated little video. So in the short I showed a very neutral look in a shape that I gravitate towards really often regardless of eyeshadow palette, but in particular it's like a look that I do almost all the time with this palette. So today I tried to switch it up to something that's like a little bit rounder on the edges, a little bit softer overall, and I tried to lean more towards like the pinky warm tones just to switch it up. So my favorite shades in this palette are probably like these silvery two shades over here, as well as these two shades in the top row. These two right here, because these ones are like her very thin topper formulas. They are a little bit translucent, and I basically like to top them on pretty much any eye look I do with this palette, just because I feel like it blurs out any blending mistakes I might have had and just like adds a pretty shimmery layer. They're just a delight to work with. In any case, let me just go ahead and show you how I did today's look. Start, I'm dipping into this warmish blend shade, mixing it with a bit of that really grayish transition shade and kind of smudging that all over my eyelid just to create a little bit of a base. I'm not sure if this step is necessary, it's just something I like to do. Next, I'm going to go in with a smaller brush and just that blend shade and put this kind of all over the eyelid, but in reality I can't really help myself but to create a little bit of an angle towards my outer corner, but overall fluffing this all over most of my eyelid. Then I'm going to mix Smoke with some of that metallic brown outer eyelid shade. And I'm not really trying to create any like harsh shape, but I do want to add some definition. So I'm tapping this on the outer third of my eyelid or so. And I like how just by using little tapping motions, it'll add a little bit of dark haziness to the area. And any leftovers, I'm just going to blend towards the inner portion of my eyelid towards my lash line where I can, and on my lower lash line. I'm dipping into the pinky center eyelid shade with a smaller, denser brush and really packing that all over the center of my eyelid and bringing that inwards. This shade is not very pink and quite bright and light, so definitely manage your expectations. I think when I look at it in contrast to the rest of the shades of the palette, it certainly looks pink, but on my eyes it adds a lot of brightness with a touch of like pinky rosiness. Then I'm tapping over all of the inner portion of my eyelid and bringing it into my inner corner with the really sparkly pinky inner corner shade. And next I'm going in with the gold center eyelid shade and tapping that between where I put the pinky center eyelid shade and where I put some of the darker shadows earlier. I also want to tap some of that gold pretty much all along my bottom lash line from the inner portion to the center-ish. Finally, I went in with this gunmetal-ish outer eyelid shade to just deepen out the outer corners. I find the two outer eyelid metallic shades to be quite interchangeable. It's kind of just if you want something more brown or something a little bit more charcoal. In any case, that's just about the finished look. I went in with a fluffy brush to clean up any edges and added on a very neutral brown pencil liner, some mascara, the usual. Something I did want to show while I'm here though is I got this cream blush from Care Weiss in Inner Glow, and this is both a formulation and color that I've been wanting to try for quite some time now, so I'm really excited about this one. It's kind of giving me MAC Glow Play in So Natural vibes, where it adds a nice bit of glow, but it doesn't really scream anything like too pink. Aside from that, I've been using a lot of my Salt New York balms lately. They're just kind of all really convenient in one place, and the rather dewy formulation that it offers, I find lends itself well to my dry winter skin. I might as well mention that I'm wearing Bobbi Brown's Crushed Lip Color in Blue Raspberry here. I just think it's a really nice and natural looking lip to go with this nice soft glam sort of look. All in all, I just think this palette is really easy to use. I think you could take pretty much any of the darker shades in here, switch them out with what I used and put them in the same place, and then do the same for the lighter shades, and regardless of what shade you use, everything will kind of mesh well and create a really refined and classy look at the end. And I think that can't be said about every palette out there. This one in particular, I really think that like you can dip into whatever and it'll probably look pretty flattering at the end, considering that you know that you like how neutral colors look on you. And with today's look, I kind of tried to lean fairly warm as far as what I can get from this palette, and there is a little bit of warmth there, but I would still say the whole thing is like pretty neutral. So again, I guess that kind of just goes to show how everything is like in this one kind of neutral zone and everything plays well against each other. And there's not a single formulation in here that I don't like. Some of her palettes have that creamy matte formula, and I'm not super about those. But all of these pretty much like blend and play together well. That's all I have for today. This palette has been out for quite some time now, so I don't have anything like new and revolutionary to share about it. I just kind of wanted to highlight it in contrast to some of the newer eyeshadow palettes that I've been playing around with lately, and just get a feel for how I still feel about it, and I still love it. It's a workhorse, and I think when this came out there weren't very many like neutrally options, and now I'm running into more and more, but I still feel like this is probably one of like the most versatile and best bang for your buck in terms of size and shade and quality. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.